Hello, everyone, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they are meant to be. I am Julietta, the magical PT, coming to you here from not so sunny today, Fort Lauderdale.
Raining right now. What's up?
Yeah, it's all good. I appreciate the lack of sun because the office that I'm here recording from, I've got floor to ceiling, southern windows, and it's so weird to me because wintertime, it's cooler outside, but it's hotter in my office because these windows bring so much sunlight in. So I appreciate rainy, cloudy days because it's cooler in my office then. And as I said, I'm a physical therapist, so that's my office is I like to call it my healing space, but sometimes when I'm coming to you from my healing space. It sounds weird to some people, but anyway.
I like it. I think you should go with it.
Thank you. I will go with that. So, what else? We were talking earlier. Allison and I were both Midwestern girls. I'm from Wisconsin. She's from Michigan. So, there's something different about us Midwestern people that Floridians don't always get, but it's okay. It's okay. We love them anyway. Kind of, sometimes, sort of.
Most of the time.
Yes, I do. I'm joking. Anyway, besides being a physical therapist, I'm a podcaster, I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm a jeweler, I'm a traveler, I don't know. I think that's enough. That's enough backslashes for today. Who are you?
I am Allison Mancini, and I am a holistic nutritionist, soon to be a functional nutritionist, which I'm super geeked about. And geeked. I just really use that word. I just aged myself by about 30 years. Anyways, I am a mom to two amazing young adults that are grown and not living at home anymore. I am a dog mom, and I am a wife, as our previous guest said, to just one. I have two children, one husband. And I know
who would want more than one husband?
Not me. Okay. And I can say this because I have been married for 28 years and we've been together for over 30, but one is enough. All right. I'm sorry. I love you, Nick, but that's all. That's it. That's all I need. And yeah, I'm a co-host of this amazing podcast. And I think that we should just have a little bit of a moment. We need to chat about some things here. So it was brought, you're going to make me start.
It sounds so deep, and it is.
It is very deep. So it was brought to our attention at our previous interview that we should be making a practice of forgiving ourselves on a regular basis because we are extremely hard on ourselves as humans and as women. And Julietta and I have both. Julietta's is much more a fresh wound than mine is. It's been a little bit of time since mine happened, but we both have had a recent experience that has caused us to be very hard on ourselves, to feel guilt. Well, for me, I'm going to speak for myself. Feel very guilty.
I feel guilty.
Okay, yeah. Feel like it was all my fault. And had I paid attention, had I been more observant, right? Like all those.
It's like we're almost living the same experience. Just
yeah. It's like it's all the should have, would have paid attention. I'm shooting on myself, but it's okay. So anyways, our interview, our previous guest, she reminded us that we need to forgive ourselves. And why do we need to forgive ourselves? What was she telling us, Julietta?
Well, the big thing that stood out for me, and because I can feel it, like when the guilt that I feel, the shame that I feel, all of that, like just, it takes away my confidence. It takes away my personal power. And so the act of forgiving is empowering. Mm-hmm. And so it is like, it's necessary to forgive ourselves and don't hold it over, because that stops us from going forward and being the best that we can be going forward. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be less than the best me. So I do need to forgive myself.
Well, and I think for you and I, and we've talked about this before, I also think that adds into, I was actually listening to one of our podcasts the other day and this subject came up. I think it also brings into that whole idea of perfectionism, right? Because
Yeah, I wasn't perfect in this situation.
exactly. And
Oof.
that's right. And that's what happened. I wasn't perfect in this situation. Why wasn't I? Should have been, blah, blah, blah. That bang in the bat against my head. And yeah, to be able to let go of that too. And just, yeah, it's been very eye opening.
Yes, it has.
I think we're just supposed to kind of digesting the whole
I
thing.
know. I'm giving you a big hug. Can you feel it?
I know.
Virtual
Oh,
hugs, virtual
nice.
hugs.
Yikes.
So everybody out there, if there's something that you're feeling guilty of, ashamed of, like, it's time to forgive yourself.
Yes.
It is.
Agree. All right, deep breath there. We shall move on to our beautiful guest, shall we not?
Yes, let's bring Heather in. Hello,
Hi, Heather.
Heather.
Hi, Julietta. Hi, Allison. How are you?
Great. We are so
Very
excited to have you. So please tell our audience about you, what you do. This is your time to share with everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And beautiful words about forgiveness that you were speaking on. My name is Heather. I am a transformational practitioner. My partner and I, we empower and guide people to their own liberation. People who may feel stuck in life, low energy, who have relationship wounds, childhood traumas that they're ready to face, um, people who might be wanting to find their purpose in this life, some deeper meaning for themselves, um, people who just wanted to know more, who want to remember who they are at their soul essence, where life's conditionings and experiences really cause us to build up barriers and walls around ourselves, and it really affects all of our relationships and our lives. And it keeps us from creating a life of our dreams. So we work with people who are ready and willing to take themselves on and actually do the work to create these 10 lives for themselves. And the way that we do that is through entheogenic and non-entheogenic ceremonies, retreats, workshops, personal coaching, couples coaching. We really try to teach you tools that will empower you to create what you say that you want and be able to make the choices that are going to help you guide yourself in that direction.
That's beautiful. Amazing.
And I love when you say when you're ready to take yourself on, because it's really easy to say, I want to do the work, I want to better myself, but like it's some serious shit to do that. And so
It's
like
courageous work.
It
is
is
courageous work. And some people may be ready but not willing, and some people may be willing but not ready.
Exactly.
And we can't heal for other people. It's just not possible. So we just provide a safe, loving, nurturing container for people to be able to go on whatever journey they need to go on for their own liberation.
I love that. Because as a physical therapist, people come to me all the time expecting that I'm going to heal them. And what I tell them all the time is, I'm not the healer. You are the healer. I'm just the tour guide here. I'll show you the way, but I can't do the healing for you. You have to do the healing.
I'll hold your hand. I'll go down any rabbit hole with you. I'll sit right next to you, whatever you need, but I can't do it for you.
Exactly. Love that.
Amazing. All right. Are you ready for our questions?
Yeah, I hope so.
You'll be fine. Totally fine. All right. Question number 1. What is your superpower?
This is going to sound super cheesy, but my superpower is my heart. I for as long as I can remember, I've never felt worthy or valued, like I was enough, rejected, abandoned, not appreciated. So now that I'm in the position that I'm in, I never want anybody to feel that way. So I try to be a presence of just love and nurturing and a place of acceptance without judgment. So that's just it. I'm all heart. I just want everybody to know that they are loved and that they matter.
Jess is so sweet. She's so aww.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna cry. Stop.
Crying is allowed here. I just
Yes, it
can't
is.
hand you a tissue through the
Yeah.
internet. But
So I always have them very nearby. I cry at commercials, so
luckily I don't watch commercials anymore, so I don't cry anymore. I'm kidding.
You know what?
I still cry, but I don't see commercials.
That's the same. I used to cry at commercials all the time. I don't see them anymore. So in fact, it's so totally digress here a minute, but it's so funny because commercials, the view that I see, I'm like, there's a commercial for that? Holy cow. I never did that. But I love that. I think that, that is a superpower, having a big, having a heart and having a big heart, because that's not easy. Because think about, like, there's been times with my own children where I'm like, I'm not really like feeling it with you right now. Like, you're really making, you know what I mean? Like, or even
You're
with
making it hard for me to love you.
yeah, I mean, even my spouse, we have been together for 30 years. There has been plenty of times where I have not felt it with him. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that for you to have that as a superpower truly is a superpower. And that's amazing. It's amazing.
thank you.
All right. Question number 2 is, and it's okay if you can't pick just one. What is that? What's that Tootsie Pop commercial? Chips can't eat just one. What is it?
I think it is chips. You can't eat just one. Lay's chips.
Is it Lay's? I think it's Lay's potato chips.
Julia, what is wrong with you?
Like, okay. Why are we talking about commercials this episode? Like,
I don't know. We're
going to ban commercials.
Wipe that off my brain.
Okay. Space. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I need to wipe that off my brain. Okay. Heather, what is a book that has greatly influenced your life?
I'm going to have to go with, it's kind of a toss-up. The 4 Agreements was really an eye-opener. I've always tried to live in integrity and be my word, but this book really anchored in for me how important it was to be my word. If I say I'm going to do something, do it, and build up that integrity bank. And especially in this business, trust is really a huge component. So integrity goes a really long way with my clients, knowing that, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I will be impeccable with my word, and again, in this space, things get projected onto us during the experience, and we just have to understand that it's not personal. It's their process of understanding what's coming through for them and being able to make sense of it, have the awareness, and then to be able to release it. And sometimes in that process, we get a lot of deflection, emotional dumping, and I just have to know that it's not me, it's not personal. It's just their process. And so I just get to hold their hand through it. So it really, that book just really reinforced where I was already headed with, my values and my outlook and how I wanted to show up. So it was really profound. And then side note, the love languages was excellent because I was like, everybody's not like me. They don't like, like physical touch or like acts of service. Really? Like, it didn't make sense to me. And then I, read the book and checked with other people and their numbers. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. So it was profound.
Love both of those books. And I recently just shared with one of my clients about the love languages, and he was just like blown away for that. He was like, this was worth every penny of it. He's like, I feel like I need to give you more money for sharing that bit of information with me. He said, that is going to change my world.
It's a valuable tool.
What was interesting was, like, he hadn't even recognized his own love language. And once I pointed out what mattered, he was like, oh my God, that's so right. So I like recommend to everyone, if
Yeah.
you don't know about the love languages, learn about them. You can read the book, and you don't even have to read the book. There's so much available about the love languages. There's free quizzes that you can take to find out what your love language is. And I think it's important for you to know what your love language is, and to know what the people who you care about, what their love languages are.
They even have ones for kids. They have
Mhm.
ones for like parents. They have ones for, they have so many different ones, versions for different types of relationships.
Mhm.
And bringing that awareness into, even for yourself, it's just invaluable.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, and I was going to say something and I totally lost my thought. Oh, yes, that like when you talk about this originally, like people think that you're talking about romantic love, but
Right.
it's, you know, and that's one of my big like things with the English language, that we only have one word for love. And, we don't just love our romantic partner. We may or may not love our families, our friends, our people we do business with. Um, Love isn't just romantic love. And these love languages, like, you can grow your business if you know the love language of your customers. And you can improve your friendships or your relationship with your family if you understand their love languages. And you also have to understand yours, so that, like, if you feel like someone's not loving you, they may love you so much, but they don't know your love language, so you're not hearing that they love you. So anyway, we could do a whole episode on the love languages.
Maybe you should.
Maybe we will. All
Maybe
right.
that's a book we need to read for book club.
That could be too. Yeah.
Let's
Awesome.
see. All right. Okay, Heather, question number 3. What is your favorite way to show yourself self-love? Self-love practice.
This is super important. Self-care, self-love is so important. I always make sure that I get at least one thing in a day, and it could be something as simple as, a cup of hot tea. But I've been finding that really nice Epsom salt baths have been very supportive as well. I soak in there for 45 minutes to an hour, and some nice meditation music. Clears you right up. Also, another big one for me is sleep. I give and give and give. I'm a giver. So I give away a lot of my energy to everyone around me. So my way of giving back to myself is rest. That's how I get to recharge myself, and that's how I get to love myself. And I used to make it, feel bad about that, and beat myself up, like, oh, I have too much to do. I don't have time, for a nap, or I can't sleep in today. And then I just noticed that I'm a zombie and I can't really function efficiently anyway. So I just stopped beating myself up and making the excuse of I have too much to do, to figuring out how to make it happen, because it's what I need, and that's how I will be able to support everybody else around me too. So it's super important to me. I
Can't
always make
give
it a
from an
priority.
empty cup.
No, I cannot pour from an empty me.
I like how you brought up the sleep, because I was one of those people that, like, especially in college and then when my kids were little, prided myself on the fact that I could get by with 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. And I learned the hard way that that's not sustainable. And you can get really sick when you do stuff like that for too long a period. And now I'm very guarded about my sleep. Like, I need 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And if I don't get it, I'm not the same person at all.
Great.
But it is really important. And it's not just important. It's not like people are like, oh, that's just what you need. No, like, seriously, our physical bodies truly need a good amount of sleep. That's where we, regenerate, and our brains get a chance to, like, flush out, our bodies flush out all the junk, and our cells can regenerate. And so it's super, super important. So it's not just about this, like, ooh, I love to sleep and it feels so good to be cozy in my bed. It's truly good for my health. So yeah, I became extremely guarded about my sleep about 12 years ago, because I I mean, I was one of those people that I was like, yeah, I only got 4 hours of sleep last night and thought that was like really cool and not good. So sleep, get your sleep. It's important.
Yes. Public service announcement, guys.
There you go.
Everybody.
Get your
Everybody.
sleep. And I do realize like somebody like my mom, who's 82 years old, she definitely does not sleep as much anymore. And I'm sure there's some kind of reason scientifically behind that. That's fine. But she also naps a couple times a day. So like, I feel like, she's kind of making up for it there.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 4. And this was a question that when we started the podcast, we did some research because we really wanted to be able to serve the women that are in our audience. And we found that a lot of women really struggle with this is how do you find accountability in your life, Heather?
Due to the gratitude trainings, I have learned a lot of tools that have taught me to be responsible and accountable for what I say I want. So, and my partner has also gone through the training as well. And he is very much a stickler for all of these tools. He really lives by them. So there's no dull moments in my house. There's no off days. There's no, we're going to table this for now and we'll talk about it later. There's none of that in my house. It's nope, we're stopping. We're going to deal with this now. And then we're going to let it go and move forward. So I have a great support system in him to help to keep me accountable. We will do weekly promises. We just have tools that we use, and we teach our clients some things too to help keep them accountable. But yeah, I surround myself with people that help to keep me accountable, and it helps me to write things down and then like check them off. I'm a big checklist person. We also have a big board for like longer term goals to kind of keep ourselves on track and in that direction, so we don't forget anything. But yeah, it's impossible for me to not be accountable in my life because of the way I've set everything up and who I've surrounded myself with. So, and it's really important. It drives me to create what I say I want to create, and beyond that, it's just priceless. So, good support system.
Very important. Very important.
I think it's awesome. We've had a few guests now that have talked about that their partner, like they're in it together, and like how great and special is that to have someone that, you're working on building your dreams together and holding each other accountable. And yeah, that's
it gets me out of my stories. Our self-limiting beliefs and doubts and stuff where we make up all these crazy stories that aren't true, but our monkey minds just creating, so it's more supportive that we do stop and just handle something immediately instead of letting it fester and me coming up with insane stories that don't even make sense, that are so beyond the truth that it's laughable. So, and sometimes we do laugh about it, but
you got to.
Right. I mean, we laugh a lot anyway, but it's silly, the stories we make up. So it's just easier to have it set up this way where we call each other on our crap and, like get off of it. It's enough.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, that is fantastic. I sensed a little slight bit of sarcasm there, Julietta, but we'll let that go for now.
It's just funny. If you've been through the gratitude training, and great sadness that gratitude did not make it through the pandemic, but there are other options out there. So if anybody's interested in other options, like they can reach out and we can connect them with.
Yeah, I'm actually coaching the redesign right now. So
well, there you go.
It's exactly like it.
But hearing the terminology, it's like it's like when you're talking to someone who's gone through the training, because they use terminology that
it's great.
Only people that have done it know. And and it is I started dating someone almost a year ago. Is that not crazy?
That's right.
Yes. And he did gratitude training, but he's ML14 or something like that. And so, yeah, he calls me out on my shit when it's like, wow, you still remember after all these years. But it's great too, because then like I can call him out on his shit, and like we don't get offended by it. Whereas you take someone who hasn't gone through the training and hasn't like dove in deep to working on themselves, there's Jess, it's great. But like when you call people out who haven't gone through their training, and like they get upset, they get offended. But when you've been through the training, it's just feedback, and something that you utilize to grow and get out of your shit, get out of your stories, and make yourself better.
Absolutely. Brings a lot of awarenesses that you may not have had before.
So, very cool.
All right, Julietta, what is your takeaway, my dear?
This is one of those shows. I was like so caught up in the conversation, I forgot to like note what is my takeaway. Actually, my takeaway is, because it keeps coming up, so I feel like it's now a mission to like spread it out there even more, is the love languages. Like I need to keep presencing people to that, because it's such a powerful tool out there for everyone, and there's still plenty of people that don't know. They're clueless. They're living without knowing their love language, and it's time for everyone to know their love language. That's my takeaway. What's your takeaway, Allison?
This is going to sound weird, but it's something that kind of has been coming up like indiscreet. I mean, it's just been mentioned like kind of in casual conversation over the last few interviews, but I think that Heather even just made a comment about it now. And it's really about, with the accountability part of not even so much a to-do list or a get-to-do list, but I'm a very pen to paper girl. I have my planner, I write in it all the time, and I have my, throw in there like, oh, I can't forget to do this today. But I also have what I call my DMO, daily method of operation. And I have had that on this great platform called Trello, spelled Trello. If anyone listening has ever heard of a Trello board, I love them. They are my love language. They're very visual. You can have them anywhere, on your phone, on the computer. But something about, for me, and a to-do list, really, I've struggled using. Let me digress. Let me back this up. I've been trying to use the Trello board with my to-do list, and I don't ever use it because I don't think I connect. Some part of my brain's not connecting that aspect to use that way, because I am such a pen to paper girl. So I just decided, after listening to Heather, I don't know what it was that you said, but I'm like, okay, that's it. I have to go back to having like a check off paper to do this. I cannot use my Trello. I love Trello for project planning and, housing all these great like we keep our podcast information on a Trello board. Like, I think they're great for all of that. But as far as like a to-do list of what I need to get done every day, those tasks that you need to do every day repetitively, I need to put them on. I'm thinking a Google Sheet that I can print out and actually like check off. That's what I'm thinking. So that whole long story led me to, I need to use a Google Sheet for my to-do list. How's that?
Beautiful.
It works. That's perfect.
There you go. All right, Heather, what is your takeaway from today?
My takeaway is sisterhood connection is beautiful. So I'm really happy to be here and connect with the two of you. And I think what you're doing is amazing, because goddesses get to be recognized. We get to be appreciated. We get to be celebrated. Mm-hmm. So I love that you both are committed to doing that. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Women power. We get to rise up.
Whoop, whoop.
It's a lot of fun, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Well, thank you so much, Heather, for joining us today. It has been such a pleasure having you on the show. You're all smiley and glowing. Sorry for those listening to the podcast that you can't see that. But if you like what you've heard here, please subscribe, follow, like, share this with other goddesses out there in the world. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, there you go, Jess. If you'd like to be a goddess guest, go to our website, votgpodcast.com. There's a form there you can fill out to request to be a guest on our show. We'd love to have you because, like we said, every goddess out there has something to say that somebody out there needs to hear. Even if you don't think you have something to say and something to share, you do. And if you need to connect with any of us, check the show notes. All of our contact information will be available in the notes. And did I get everything? I feel like I forgot to say something. I think we got it all. So thank you again, Heather. Thank you to all our listeners and everybody. I want to wish you a magical day.
Bye.
Bye.